Hey guys, Ray from loveyourrv.com here, and today I'm going to finish the review of the Weboost antenna system. If you recall, must have been 3 weeks ago or so, I installed it on the rig. You can see right at the back corner there, that's the trucker antenna, and it feeds into the Weboost there. So you can see where I installed that at the back. It's about matches the highest point on the rig. I got the system from a company called WilsonAmplifiers.com, and they provided me a free coupon code to pick up the unit as a promotional unit. So there was no charge for the unit. I did pay pretty good shipping and tax to get it to Canada, but anyway, I'm going to just in this video we'll just go over the install quickly again, and then we'll go in and I'll give you a look at how the thing works, how it amplifies, and compare it with some of the other equipment. I did have the old Sleek, the little tiny booster before, so I've done some tests with it. Right now we're in a spot here along the California coast, Northern California, right where the redwoods are. And of course we're in a lot of trees, we got a lot of hills around, so it's a great place to test out the booster. Especially this spot is called Elk Country RV Park, but I remember from being here before I had a lot of trouble getting signal, and so it's a very weak signal area, so it was a great test for the booster here and all the other pieces of equipment. So let me just go up there and show you quickly how I installed that again. If you wanted to get the full install, I'll leave a link in the description and you can go through that. Okay, up in the roof here, I installed they call it the trucker antenna because it's designed to hook onto a mirror on a truck, like a big semi-truck. So I hooked it onto my ladder rail there. Came with a nice little clamp for doing that. It's an omnidirectional antenna, so it receives signal. You don't have to point it or anything like that. For the wiring, I just used some Eternabond tape and ran it into the same junction box that I used for my backup camera. So that goes straight down into the rig. So let's go in there and show you where the wire goes from there. Then the wire pops down there, goes across the back of this cabinet and into the Weboost amplifier. On the output of the amplifier is the antenna wire. It goes along there and through a little hole here into the back of this control panel where it pops out and goes to the antenna, which I mounted on the wall here. To power up the booster, I picked up 12 volts from inside the control panel and put in a little power socket here, so I can just turn on the switch and then I'm amplifying. Okay, so that was very convenient. And on the wall here, so I've tried this. This is the indoor antenna which rebroadcasts the cell signal inside the rig, and I've tried it in all sorts of locations all over the rig because I have actually 20 feet of cable hidden in there. I can pull it out and move this antenna pretty well anywhere I want in here. The advice was to put it as far away from the outdoor antenna as possible, but I actually found the best spot for it was conveniently right beside where my computer desk is. If I actually put the antenna down here, that's where I get the best signal. I think it might have something to do with this window frame. Maybe the window frame blocks any interference between the antennas, but anyway, that's what I found. So what I've done is I leave it here for traveling and when we're not using, and then I put in some plastic hooks here to run the wire. So just let me deploy it. Say we get into a weak signal area, this is what I do. So that's the mount there, just unhooks from there, just lift it off, and then I can just run the wire on these little hooks and then straight down there. So that's kind of deployed for fringe area. And you can see currently my MiFi is picking up 1 bar of 4G. And you'll see as soon as I turn on, let's just go to this diagnostic mode. So I got RSSI 12%, I'll explain that later, and dBn is 119. Oh, it looks like we just actually lost signal. Let's try that again. Signal's so weak it actually cut out. So there, we're at 2% and 124 dBn. Now I'll turn on the amplifier. There we go. So you can see it bounced right up to full bars, 100%, 75 dBn. Woohoo! Amazing. I'll just turn off the amp again. Takes a little second for the device to change itself. There we go. Bang. So that's pretty impressive. And we went from basically no signal or hardly usable signal to a full strength 4G LTE. While I've been camped in this really weak cell location, I decided it was a good time to kind of do some comparison testing. Because I have my old system here. This is the old sleek cradle, and it's designed for you just to slide in a phone, or I would slide my Verizon MiFi device into it like that. This would plug into a lighter socket. I got this as an extra. This sticks onto the window, and it creates its own ground plane too, I guess, with this metal rod here. This little magnetic mount, it's designed to go on the roof of a car, but with this office kit you can do that, and you get a nice little antenna. So that's what we've been using for a couple of years now, and it's worked really well. So I just tested that here. I'll go through all the results in a minute. I also took this small device. It has an antenna port here, so I tested it with the trucker antenna, the external antenna, just to see how much better it would work with a big antenna. Then this is the new kit. This comes as a kit like this, with this small internal antenna. That's instead of the big one. And it comes with this small external antenna, much like the Sleek did. So I did a test just using this kit, because it's a couple $100 cheaper to just buy this kit. And then I did a comparison, you know, with what you just saw. So let me go through those figures and show you what I found. It's nothing scientific, it just I happened to be in this location, so I could do a quick comparison between things. Okay, so here's my facts and figures. This figure here, the dBm, stands for decibel milliwatts, and it's sort of a cell standard of measurement. Basically, if you're down around 60, negative 60, you're really good. If you're up around negative 120 or more, you're almost no signal. And you can look that up online. It's weird with the negative numbers, but because it's a logarithmic scale, scientific type scale, actually less negative is better. This RSSI is relative signal strength, something like that, and it shows as a percentage, and it's really comparable to your cell bars. So you get about 14%, you'll get 1 bar all the way down to here 95% would be 4 or 5 bars. And then this showed up in my diagnostics test for my MiFi, and its signal to noise ratio, and the higher number is better. So I started with no booster, and you could see I had 120 dBm and 14% and 4. So that's really terrible. Then I hooked up the old Sleek amplifier that I showed you, our original, and I got a pretty good boost down to 98, and bounced up to 64%. That'd be probably about 3 bars. and the signal to noise went to 12, so that's pretty good. So I decided, well, I'll try this leak with the trucker's antenna, and I kind of got a marginal improvement. I got a few more dBm boost and a little bit better percentage, although the signal to noise ratio wasn't quite as good. But like I say, it's not scientific. You know, the cell signal's constantly changing while I'm testing, so it's not like a lab result. I'm just trying to give you a general idea. And then I went with the Weboost without the optional antennas, what comes in the kit, and I dropped down to 92, bounced up to 76, and the signal noise was 9. Now, another test I did is I took the Weboost with my new trucker antenna, and I tried it with what they call that small antenna. They call it the candy bar antenna that comes in the kit, and that was pretty good. I went down to minus 83 and up to 92% and signal to noise of 10. And then finally, with my big trucker antenna and the big internal white antenna, I got the best result you can see. It went to 76 dBm. So that's quite a boost from 120 down to 76. So that would give you a really good connection. And the RSSI was up about 95, sometimes bouncing to 100%. And the signal to noise went up to 15 dB. So it definitely was the best overall. And I've tried it in 4 or 5 locations as we've traveled down the coast. I've hit a lot of weak cell areas, and pretty well every location. This is roughly the figures I'm getting, within plus or minus 5%. So that's pretty good. One more test I did was to measure the throughput, or the data transfer, between having the antenna or not. I got up early around 6 in the morning and did a test with when the cell tower was not very busy, and you can see the first thing there was 3.67 megabytes download, and then with the booster on it popped up to 12.45 megabytes. So quite a difference, which will mean a lot if you're wanting to stream Netflix or stream YouTube, or just the web pages should load faster. So definitely a big improvement in the download speeds. I also did a test with my cell phone. Now this cell phone is on the T-Mobile service, and we're not in an area to get 4G, but we get what's called Edge, which is like a 2.5G or something. Very slow speeds, but we use it mainly for talking on the phone. And the booster made it from basically not even able to get a call out to being able to get a call and talk on the phone. Actually, last night my wife was talking to her brother, and she was able to keep talking to him if I held this white antenna close to her head where she was talking. That's one thing, is it's got to be pretty close to the antenna or it quickly loses its range, doesn't get the boost anymore. So I think if I was going to do a long conversation on the phone, I would do hands-free, or I would take that little candy bar antenna. It has a Velcro strip on it, maybe Velcro it to the back of the phone so that you could have a conversation. But anyway, it did boost. It went up to you can see this one's got 95, negative 95. Let me just turn the booster off there. We'll watch it drop off. Takes a second to update with this phone before it updates the loss. There we go. So it's dropping. Negative 100, 102. So now it's basically lost all signal almost. So yeah, it's not a huge boost, but in an area where you got to get a call out, it'll allow you to get a call. Let's go through some pros and cons with the Weboost. Start with the pros. First, the biggest pro I found, you can get up to a 50 decibel milliwatt boost of it, which is awesome. You can go right from basically barely getting reception, 1 bar, all the way up to a full 5 bars was showing on my MiFi. Also a similar response on my cell phone over there. Next, the setup was extremely easy. Came with all the parts I needed. There was no programming to be done or anything like that. Just turn it on. If the lights turn green, you were good to go. The install was really easy. Came with power adapters. It has an AC adapter or a 12 volt socket adapter. Also the antenna. The antenna is plugged in easily, so basically dead simple setup. There's two ways to go. Of course I went with the big outside antenna and the big inside antenna. This package here comes with the smaller inside antenna. I've heard it referred to as a chocolate bar, candy bar antenna. And then the one that's magnetic, that's designed to mount on the magnetic roof of your vehicle. So I guess a person could buy just this kit, save a little money. The kit I got from wilsonamplifiers.com, I'll leave a link in the description to the exact kit I got. I think it ran close to somewhere $650, $700 range. I think if you were to look, you can find this one for somewhere $450, $500. Or they do sell a model of the Sleek, the newer model of the Sleek, like my old one, and I believe that ran for about $170 something. So you can see by my figures, you know, how the more you want the signal boosted, you have to pay a little more in stepping up there. Also, the mounting hardware was pretty good. Mounting the Weboost, the little snap mount, works well. And for the big antenna, the mount really holds well. There was one drawback to it. I'll get to that in a minute. They also works up to 4 devices. I don't have 4 to try, but I tried 3 and it worked. They say up to 32 times better coverage. Can't really test that. So yeah, those were all the pros. Now let's get into the cons. I guess for some people the cost might be a con. It's, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So, but if you really need cell coverage, like we definitely do, it's worth the money to us. Also to stay in contact with family when we're off grid, and kind of from a safety perspective, it's nice to be able to get a cell call out in an emergency. The other big con I found, which not too bad for me, but it might be for some people, is you would think a big antenna like this, you would get a lot of range in your rig to how far it would amplify. But I'll show you in a little test here. You really, once you're past about a foot, you lose a lot of amplification. So here's my phone on a little testing program here. And you know, it's showing in the 100, it was 111 there, it's 104, it's bouncing around a bit. So I'll turn on the amplifier and we'll see what kind of boost we get. Then I'll show you, you know, as I move it away, how it drops in amplification. Just hang on a sec here. 75, so it's basically amplified there. Getting full bars. So let's just move it away. I'll go, this is a little over a foot, maybe a foot and a half. And it'll take a second for my program to recalibrate here, but you can see it dropping. There, we're down and we're into the 80s now. Move it a little further away. Probably a little over 2 feet now. You can see I'm still getting a boost, but I've lost over 10 dB. Now I'm up to the 90. So you can see you don't really get a lot of range as far as I've tested. Of course, every installation is going to be a little different. Every RV is going to be different. I think a lot depends on the outside signal strength and how the two antennas, the outside and the inside, interact with each other. You know, a lot of this is designed for home use, where they're a long way away. There, and so I'm back close. I'm back to my 75 dBm. And the final con that I found was the bracket here is already starting to show signs of rust. I know we did go for several hundred miles down the coast, so I got a lot of salt air in it, but that's only been on there a few weeks and it's already starting to get rusty, which, you know, doesn't hurt anything other than looking at, but I thought I'd mention that. Anyway, all in all, I'm extremely impressed with this Weboost cellular amplifier system on the rig. It's going to really be helpful this year as we're just about down in the desert now, down in Bakersfield. We're staying at actually they call it the Orange Grove RV Park, just out of Bakersfield on Highway 58. It's fairly pricey. I think it's about $40, but we always like to stop here after a long drive down the Central Valley. It's easy in, easy out off the highway, and it's kind of cool to be parked in all these orange trees. When we arrived, the oranges are ready to pick, and they gave us a big bag and said, you know, go ahead and pick as much as you want, so that's pretty cool. But soon I'll be out in some more fringe areas, so I'll keep kind of documenting how it goes and comparing. There's some spots I've been to where our cell service was really weak, and even with the little sleek, it was touch and go. So I'm kind of eager to see how that's going to be. Wow, check that guy's rig out. Got two ATVs on the back. Anyway, till next time, this is Ray from loveyourrv.com. Happy trails. Cheers, everybody.